That's all right.
Are you ready, Gene?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I don't have wood. I don't have a gavel. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. This is, I think, a critical junction in the development of Herlong and Doyle, and we have our developers, Larry Smith and Steve Pizzullo. The county interim CAO, Richard Egan, is here. And they'll all be speaking up here in a few minutes. But first, this is Corby from Plymouth Sierra Rural Electric, and she's got a short presentation about the RAP program that we'd like to go over real quick, and it's for, I'll let her explain it to you.
So what we offer is, for our members, it's a discount on the heating season, basically time frame for your electric bill, if you're PSREC members. And so there are income qualifications they do have to meet for that program. And then once you get all signed up and everything, you get a discount on your kilowatt hour rate, and that's from the November through April usage to help with those extra costs during the winter when there's heating, electric heat and that kind of stuff. It gets a little bit more expensive during the winter time. So we try and help out that way through this program. That's kind of the basics of it. I've got some applications and brochures here that I'll put those out by the drinks by the front door. Any questions on the program? Yeah.
Is that an income-based
It
program?
is, yes.
I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to present that for REA and anybody who needs a little help with their power bills. This is a tough time of year, we all know that, and Plymouth Sierra will definitely stand up to help the income-based programs. So,
Yeah. And we're we're willing to work with the members too. If you're having trouble paying your bills, we can help with making payment arrangements, things like that. Just talk to us, and we're willing to help and work with you. So. And yeah, any more questions?
I'd like to know, is the federal government still supporting the electric company to rural electric standards?
The rural utility service lending, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get a lot of our funding.
Why does our bills have to match Susanville?
Mm-hmm.
Why is the rate going up the same as Susanville electrical rates?
Well, we are a different utility from Elmwood. Is that what you mean?
No, the cost of electricity.
no, can we approach that at a different time? She's not here to do that. She's here to offer assistance to people who are having trouble paying their bills.
Never seen that actual state to say why.
I'll talk to you about that. I'm on the board of Plymouth Sierra, and I'd like to speak with you after the meeting about that. And I'd really like to introduce our guests here. and they can come on up here, and they're going to go over, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And they're
Thanks,
going to
everybody.
go over some of their ideas, and maybe they can listen to some of your ideas about where we're headed as a group. This is the first time since the 95 BRAC, 97 BRAC that I've had optimism. And I've got a lot of optimism for where we're headed. And we have to, as a group, stand behind these gentlemen. And they will be up here, Larry Smith and Steve Pizzullo. And Richard might come on up also and explain the county's stance right now, where we are on the one-stop first and foremost. And then, why don't you start off with that, Richard?
Be happy to. Thank you. Nice to see everyone. I guess I'll start off with just a little background about why I'm here. I recognize a lot of faces out there I've talked to throughout the years over property tax issues. And as most of you know, the Board of Supervisors is going through some personnel changes at the top levels of the county, and in the interim, they've asked me to step in as the interim county administrative officer, and I'll also be performing my role as tax collector while I'm doing that, and to try to provide some continuity while they're recruiting for a permanent CEO. So that's why I'm here tonight. As most of you also know, Supervisor Hammond, who's joined the board last fall, has got a highly renewed effort towards focusing county resources on the South County, this area in particular, in the South County. And it's my observation that the rest of the board is supportive of that effort to do so, and that's going to include the potential disposal of some additional property down in the Herlong area that, as some of you may know, the county owns about 3,500 acres around the large runway that's owned by the Army, and has a complicated joint use agreement with the Army. Mr. Hammond's idea, and I agree with it, is that probably the best way to get some use of that and get some joint use of that is to get that property or some of that property in the hands of private people with private money that can create some private jobs in there, because quite simply, the county just doesn't have the resources to, or the capital to do the improvements that are required out there to make that a going concern. And so that's an effort that Mr. Hammond and the rest of the board's tasked me with trying to put a proposal together, and I'll be working on that a lot in the next few months, and hope to report back some success soon. With regard to this building, which has obviously been in the newspaper a lot since the transfer of the county property to Mr. Hayes, Smith, and Pizzullo, there was an error in the deed. This property was transferred to that group in error. It's a mistake that a lot of us share responsibility at the county for making. A lot of different levels of approval that it went through, and I'll stand here before you and tell you it was a mistake, and that's what it was. And our job now is to do what we can to make the best out of that situation. The county is committed to providing services in this part of the county at whatever cost necessary to do so. To that end, the board's also asked me to work with Mr. Smith, Pizzullo, and Hayes to try to work out some sort of long-term arrangement on this building where the county would maintain occupancy of it, and we're in the middle of working on that. In addition to looking to other long-term options that may include, frankly, new facilities, depending on what the board's direction is. I'd be happy to answer any questions that I can regarding that or any other county issues, but I think that seems to be the burning issue down here. One other thing that just came to mind, Mr. Hammond asked me to bring down some applications for the Community Development Block Grant Program, and in my haste getting out of the office, I didn't bring those, but we've got some applications that Mr. Hammond's I'm going to get to him, and he'll distribute out in this area. That's the Housing and Economic Development Program that the county administers. So with that,
Is there a current capital improvement plan for the county of Lassen?
Seems like a simple question to answer, doesn't it? There are a variety of plans that deal with a variety of different capital issues. And to say that there's one comprehensive plan, I'm not sure that that's the case. That is something that certainly needs to be done and is a priority. And one of the other things I'm sure the board will be tasking me with to come up with. We've got certain plans regarding roads, we've got certain plans regarding buildings, but to say that there's a comprehensive capital program, I'm not aware of one document that encompasses all that.
I mean, doesn't it just make sense to kind of have an overall plan, so you know how much money you have to spend here, you know how much money you have to spend for a swimming pool, etc., and what your overall obligations are into one big plan? It seems like we're kind of shotgun, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and maybe the left hand and the right hand don't know what they're doing.
I don't disagree that it's a good idea to have a comprehensive plan. I wouldn't cede the fact that the county is just doing a shotgun approach to all those things. There is an annual budget process that I'm sure you're aware of that's gone through dealing with the operational expenses that we make. Some of that deals with capital, most of it is operational. Your point's well taken, I think, about the swimming pool and other issues that seem to be taken on out of context or not in the context of the overall picture. And I think that's part of a renewed focus of the board is to look at some of these things in a more comprehensive fashion. And I'm in full support of that and working towards that.
Part of the fallout of this transfer that the county made by mistake is we're looking real hard at restructuring from the top to the bottom. And we're just getting started on that. And that is definitely in the works, and we will definitely take a hard look at this capital improvement plan, the road department, the planning department. That's where we're going to, and the general plan. And that, to me, the general plan is the thing that's really restricted us from growth down here. And when we revisit this general plan, we want to have Larry Smith and Steve Pizzulo's input on this because it greatly affects them, how their stuff is zoned down here.
Sure, they don't want to spend a lot of money if they don't know where that's going,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And
That's
that's
why
really
I'm
the
saying
foremost
some
thing
kind
that
of
we have to do
overall
is the
plan
general
seems to
plan.
make sense.
Yeah, that's really the foremost thing is the general plan. So we're taking baby steps, Jim, right now.
I get that, I just
Yeah.
want to know if there's a direction, a goal to have that in place.
We will visit that, yes.
I can tell you definitively there's been some direction given to move in that direction.
We will
Okay.
visit that. And it's been visited a little bit, but there'll be more to visit very soon.
There was-
Oh, that just answered my question. You knew it was coming.
Have they started up and getting different types of businesses down here in the South County?
In terms of the county actively
Yeah,
recruit,
creating jobs.
again, it seems like a simple question, and there's not a simple answer. The county has an economic development division of the housing department. As far as actively recruiting businesses, their stance has more been to respond to inquiries that come in, and not just regarding South County, but all parts of the county. And I think that's another issue that Mr. Hammond would like to visit as far as being more proactive rather than reactive in that regard. Either way.
I think it's ladies first, isn't it?
Yeah, that's.
Ladies first.
Hello. Can we have you guys introduce who you are before you start speaking?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
We know
sorry.
your names, but we don't know who the people.
He's the interim CAO. I'm sorry, Colleen. I did think that you guys knew that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, my name's Richard Egan.
Okay.
My day job is I'm the county tax collector, and I'm moonlighting. I mean treasurer, I'm sorry.
String him up!
Thanks a lot. I brought the tax collector for these people. You gotta be happy.
It's kind of a two-part question. The first part of it is you mentioned at the start of this meeting some sort of development or doing development around that land around the airport.
Yes,
Is that true?
yes.
What about the exodus out there? Unexploded ordnance?
Um,
You know, try to clean that up?
That, you know, first of all, I'm not aware of any identified unexploded ordnance out on the county property. Not to say there may not be. There was some cleanup efforts that were done out there, but I think the environmental issues around that property will definitely need to be addressed in the process of disposing of that property or transferring it to somebody in private hands.
Bruce, that's why we want to privatize it, because I guarantee you the county would never get that done. There is no hope for that to happen with the county. So there is hope if we privatize it. So that's what our mission is, and that's what our aim is.
Richard, since you said you're county tax collector, which I know, I just want to make sure, since this building was transferred in area in the deed, that you are collecting on the value of the building included on the property and not just the property sale price itself.
An interesting question, I can answer that. And this goes for any property, this particular property, which was owned by the county, was not taxable. Did not accrue any property taxes while it was in county ownership. When the property transfers to private ownership, the assessor, who throughout my career, I like to blame everything on whenever I can. He's across the line. The assessor will assign a market value to the property, and that may or may not be exactly what the sales price is, but he'll do an appraisal, he'll determine the market value, and that'll become the new assessed valuation, and that's what the taxes will be based on. And I really look forward to collecting taxes.
That's why we brought him.
Who's that bloke answerable to?
I'm sorry?
Who is the assessor answerable to?
He is
He's
in-
going to make the evaluation on the actual, what the property tax is. Who does he answer to verify that that's reasonable and fair tax? Or is it the policy of the county to make sure they get as much money as they can?
The assessor is accountable to the voters of the county. He, like I, is an elected official, elected every 4 years.
And does he go on the gross mistakes that was made over the signing of this building here? He made a mistake there and everybody else made mistakes. Who rectifies his mistakes as far as tax collection of property?
As far as the tax collection?
Yeah.
The assessor.
Sorry?
The assessor will make the assessment as far as the value of the property.
I don't hope we don't miss the point here, because as far as I'm concerned, we want to go light on these guys that are trying to do some stuff to bring some jobs here. The taxable value of this is probably not that much, and I would like the county to work with our potential developers who are going to bring jobs, industry, improve our schools. I would like us to be a little bit lenient with them. So,
Tom, right now, Richard and I negotiated a lease on this, and it's $1 a month for this building, just so everybody knows. We're not trying to take advantage of the situation.
Will you please speak up?
I was just saying.
Step up,
Richard and I-
Just louder.
Larry Smith from
Larry Smith.
Smith Realty, he's 1/3 owner of the Herlong properties.
I just want to make it clear that Richard and I have negotiated a lease for $1 a month on this property. It's not 10,000, it's $1.
How long?
Is it just
We-
$1 a month?
It's
That's
$1 a month, and the county pays the utilities and the,
Who pays the taxes?
we do.
So no square footage charge?
No. No. I just want to make that clear.
$1 per year.
$1 per month. Stop drinking coffee.
Richard, I had a question. My question is, I read a consultant report to you last weekend about Herlong Airport, which I didn't know that the
strip that we are is considered an airport. And there's funds being received by Caltrans, an aviation fund. Okay, is there an improvement plan to improve that airport? As long as I've been here, I don't think I've really seen anything done with that airport. And it's $10,000 per year. And the last time that information I got was from 2004 to present time. What do you guys do with the money?
Okay, let's clarify what Felix is talking about. He's not talking about the runway on the Amity Airfield on the base. He's speaking of the Herlong Airport here. Okay.
The county maintains several airports, five, I think five. Four or five. Ravendale, Herlong,
Eagle Lake.
Eagle Lake, Big Valley, Westwood?
No, Westwood
No, Westwood, okay, four. And the county does receive funds, I think it's $10,000 per airport, per year, for the maintenance of those airports.
From Caltrans? From Caltrans?
From,
It's from Caltrans. It's
I-
not an aviation fund that it county receives from.
I'm not for certain on that. That very well may be. I'm not for certain where the source of the funding is. Let me preface this by saying I've been interim CAO for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
We have a few issues going on. I spoke with Mr. Flores about this last week. We're researching that. The money, my current understanding is from just the last week or so looking into this, is that money's been going into a fund and utilized to do certain maintenance on those airports, and it's been accumulating. And it's again one of those capital issues that needs to be addressed in concert with the rest of the capital issues.
Richard, that fund started last year at $422,000. As it started this year, the paperwork that I got, we're down to $280,000. So within 12 and 13, or from 13 to 14, there's over $200,000 of money's gone, okay? And I'm curious, now doing research on this, is I just don't understand the process anymore. I'm trying to understand the county's process, because every time I look something up, as we can go all the way back to the VFW, the LRA, the funds coming from the feds, the states, and everything, and there's no accountability of funds, and our community is suffering because of that.
Well, I can tell you, as treasurer of the county, that every penny that comes into the county treasury is accounted for, and it's not spent unless it's appropriated through the budget process that goes through the Board of Supervisors annually. And that would be true of that fund as well as all the other funds. Without looking at that specific budget unit, and please remember, we're talking about large dollar figures here. We're talking about a $100 million budget. Without looking at that particular budget unit to determine by line item how that money was spent in the last year, and frankly, I haven't done that in the last week. I can't answer the question in an educated fashion.
Okay, let's give you a hypothetical.
I love those.
Good. Thank you. There's a fund. There is money in it for a specific purpose. There is a process of improvements to that area being pursued. That would be a public-private partnership to engage maintenance, repair, and further development for a private concern. And that's what we're getting at. How much the county is going to be involved in this to promote this, because the county obviously, cannot handle the problem of what to do with the property loan, but it was there and it's viable as a commercial enterprise that is going to help with the economic development.
Denise, we're talking about two different runways. You're speaking about the Amity runway, and he's speaking about the runway in Herlong. Yeah,
But
okay.
again, as far as that has never been developed further. Is it going to be in this process? Not, is that going to be part of this push to develop this economically for a commercial concern?
It hasn't specifically been identified as part of the process to get the prior LRA property into private hands? Not that it's off the table, but it hasn't been part of the discussions. The private small airport, and you know your community much better than I do. I live in Johnsonville, next to the airport, by the way. My understanding is the purpose of that airport is for residents and private parties to come in and out of the community. And I don't think there's a lot of commercial activity going on at that airport currently. I could be mistaken.
The property owner, airport's privately owned.
Denise, we will take a look at that. We're going to take a look at that, and because I think that it would be,
I'm looking for any.
absolutely, so am I. And I've looked at this, and I've spoken with Felix about it, and we are definitely, it's in the target,
Okay.
okay?
Hey, the barracks is over here with the old mess hall. Who owns it? What's the plan for it?
We'll get to that in 1 minute. As soon as these guys,
Well, I think you might be talking about the ones that are owned by the school district.
They're on by 14.
Over here,
no.
over here. South of
No,
150.
he's-
Oh.
we'll get to that in a minute, okay? When these guys get up here.
Would you four men tell us what the world vision is, what you would like to do? Would you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we'll get to that as soon as Richard's done speaking. Steve Pizzullo and Larry Smith will come up and we'll get to that, okay? That's the reason why we're here tonight.
There was a rumor going around, I believe it was last year or the year before, and I apologize if I don't have the year correct, that there was some money allocated for this side of the county, and that was not dispersed to this side of the county to make the improvements. If that's true, please clarify without beating around the bush. Also, if it is true, do we get funded that money now because you guys screwed up?
Money's gone.
The answer to your first question,
Money's gone.
and let me answer your
I
question.
really don't want to run around. Are we going to get refunds?
No.
Let me answer your question specifically. Funds of the county are not allocated by location. They are allocated through the budget process through budget units. So to suggest.
Okay, so just because we don't word it correctly, I apologize for not using the terminology correctly. So the money that was budgeted for this side of the county was not dispersed to this side of the county. It was dispersed wrongly to another side of the county, and I'm not making names. I'm just going to point. And we are not going to be reimbursed, and that's unfair.
Yeah,
So these roads around here.
I'd like the answer.
That's coming, just hold on.
I'd
I
like
pay the
the.
same amount of taxes that people do in Susanville, and I live in Herlong, you know.
I'd like to answer your question, but first I need to know what money or what project or what,
Your budgets, as you termed them,
right?
that you set up for this side of the county.
For what purpose? Okay, wait a minute.
Excuse me?
For what purpose? What?
For whatever purpose we deem.
Are you speaking about the LRA money?
Yes.
The LRA money is gone.
LRA money's been gone for many years.
The LRA money is gone.
And now we're supposed to entrust you with this?
We just got rid
Debbie,
of all the guys.
Debbie, what we're doing now is we're going to take control of our own destiny. Okay? We cannot get that money back. It's gone. We're going to take control of our own destiny. We're going to do that with the privatization of the properties here. That's how we're getting started. These guys are thinking out of the box. They've got some great ideas. Now we can't worry about what happened back then. Money's gone. Now we think out of the box and we try to promote ourselves.
I have a question then. So now by promoting ourselves in our county and building it up, we're talking about increasing property values, which everybody will be concerned with because then you're talking about increasing property taxes.
Well,
Now that's something I can address.
Since we've lost so much of our taxes in the past, how do we in some way, shape, or form not get penalized? Or break even.
Well, in 1978, I think, when I was a young child, the state of California passed Proposition 13, and that provides a lot of protections for people that own property. And in a nutshell, what that does is it, when you purchase a piece of property, like these guys bought this property here, the assessed value that I mentioned earlier will be established at a base value. And let's say that base value is $100,000. What Prop 13 does is it restricts the increase in that assessed valuation to 2% a year. So even if the value of that property goes up 100% next year, the assessed valuation will only go up 2%, and therefore your property taxes will only go